All right. We are back in beautiful Belmont, New Jersey at the Grit Won't Quit podcast studio. And I have a very special guest on. I have Keith on today. He's a friend of Moriella's, so don't hold that against him. Keith, how are you this morning?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. We met at a networking event. Anthony brought you out over the early part of the summer, and he brought you to a networking event. We connected, and I said, let's get you on the podcast. You got a pretty cool story. You got a great business, and you traveled all the way in from Staten Island this morning.
I did the far run over the bridge.
You had to go over the outer bridge.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Nice, beautiful day we got.
It's a beautiful day.
So nice.
And thank you for bringing a delicious treat from a famous Staten Island bakery.
Yeah, this is your home, right? So you got to bring something.
It's the Staten Island
little
way.
chocolate bread from Royal Crown. Yeah,
I've never had chocolate bread. I have one employee, shout out to Chelsea, who lives on Staten Island, and I already sent her a picture of it and asked her if she knew the bakery. So that's so cool. Thank you again. Me and Andrew enjoyed that this morning. So let's get into it. So how long have you been in business?
For myself, probably around 25 years, I would think.
What, you start about 12 years old?
You think I'm that young, but I'm actually not. I'm pushing 50.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So
I'm getting there.
Early mid 20s then started business.
Yeah. We actually started in a Christmas light decorating business. We had a little business.
You were early to that game because I mean now it's popular, but like 25 years ago, I didn't know that people did that.
We lived on Bay Terrace in Staten Island,
okay.
And one of my dearest friends at the time, his father, who was like a second father to me, we did his house, which was like very well known at that time. He went completely crazy with Christmas lights, and that kind of spawned people coming to us, and we started a business out of that, and it just kind of broke off. We wound up actually doing the Casale house, which is Casale family owned the jewelry store, and we did that house, which was another big event over the years, and then that broke out into smaller jobs, and we wound up doing 50 or so accounts every year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's
kind of how it started for me in business, my little business world. Yeah.
So now you have 50 accounts. You're working 2 months a year for these people, right? You're coming in
yes.
mid-October, and you're taking them down at the end of the Christmas season, beginning of January. So 2 to 3 months you're putting these up and then taking them down. Now you're storing them and everything like that?
With them. Some of the houses we brought them to storage facilities and things, but yeah, they had all their own stuff. They kept all their own stuff.
So and then the next year they'd say, "Hey, Keith, get back here. We're ready."
We would call them, set a schedule. We had to do that. We started the last week of October every year.
Okay.
And we would put them up, shut them off, and keep going. And then when people wanted them on, whoever was first on, we would go back and start putting them on when they wanted, because they were nice enough to let us work like that. But
sure.
Yeah. So
now it's January, and you're like, what do we do? What do we do the other 10 months of the
That's
year?
an interesting. Yeah, I mean, you're hitting on it. That's exactly what happened. We had these clients that were happy with us, and we were like, we need to start to figure something out where we could see them all year. And that's how the audio video business started.
So now you start doing audio video.
Yeah.
And now these same people, you start with these people because they're loyal customers to you. You've done right by them. You see, again, from knowing you a short amount of time, you seem like one of those guys that just does the right thing.
Appreciate that. And yeah, we went right to them.
Yeah.
Basically it was a warm call because you know us for a few years. Okay. This is what we're doing now. Surround sound systems were becoming big. Everybody was like, come on, let's, give me a price. So we started doing that. And that started to build, and then we started meeting the neighbor and the brother-in-law, and before you know it, quickly enough, we wound up with a little business, and that started to grow.
So now, and then again, with that kind of stuff, as people replace technology, they need you again.
Yep, it's not forever, so there is a lot of that, and there's always something new. We have a wide range of what we're doing. It's not just music, especially today now. There's residential and commercial for us. There's backyard audio video is huge, camera systems, network systems, hardwired Wi-Fi, door access systems. So they might do the TV over the fireplace and then say, I want to put a camera system in the house, or my business needs Wi-Fi through it properly. So we can help.
But that's a great niche that you're in a business that's not going anywhere
I hope not.
I
don't know what AI is going to
but,
be able to do for you if
I
you
mean,
need to get wires ran, but
AI is going to have benefits for some things, but I think when you look at it, though, especially with the security, it's not going anywhere.
I think that's very a reasonable thing to say, yeah.
And then even with the backyard stuff, like I'm sure that there's some people that are going to just do a very simple little rock or something like that in their backyard. But then there's other people that really enjoy that backyard experience, that spend every summer night in the backyard.
We have clients with multiple outdoor TVs that you could spray with a hose, 20 speakers through the yard, Wi-Fi because the properties are big enough to detach from the house, cameras. So that's become almost, here's the house, and then they do the yard, and it's like whole new design, have to look at it differently, cabanas that are nicer than homes. So it's really has become a big deal. Yeah.
Now, do you do the lighting out there, the outdoor lighting?
We don't do any landscape lighting.
Okay.
We have a company called Jellyfish that we just picked up over the last year. It's a unique product. Actually, my dear friend Anthony Moriello, he actually put it on one of his buildings. He never heard of it. I never heard of it. He said, you got to check this out. It brought his already really cool building to life at night.
Yep.
And I checked it out. I started to deal with the company, and we took on a partnership with them for our area.
Yep.
And we love it. It's custom cut to the eave lines of your property, whether it's commercial or residential. It is color matched. There's no wires. Everything is custom installed, and hardwires back to a controller, and then everything's app driven, and you can schedule your house for every holiday. It could turn different colors. It could run. It could chase.
Oh, wow.
It's very cool. They just brought in now. They have the rights to every sports team, whether it's college or professional. So if you like the Mets, you could turn the house purple and orange for a big Met game, whatever.
That's really cool.
And they had, and it's on and on and on. So it's really cool for a business. It's great for residential because...
And it's called Jellyfish?
It's Jellyfish Lighting, yeah.
Shout out to Jellyfish Lighting. And we're going to have to do a
cool
little
stuff.
research on those guys because that's pretty darn cool.
You'd love it. I'll send you some
The
pictures of some of the
pinstripes,
jobs
the Yankee
we've done.
pinstripes.
Absolutely, yeah. Anything. We had... one client had their daughter graduated from college, and they put the college colors up.
Yeah.
He had like 100 people there.
Yeah.
He said, people loved. They realized that it was the college colors all over the house. So, it's cute and it's interesting. And then you could turn that to regular lighting also. It doesn't have to be red, white, and blue for 4th of July every day of the week. It could just be a mundane light. So
very cool.
Very cool stuff.
I want to check that out.
Yeah, it's nice.
Did Anthony do it in the Farmingdale building? The Farmingdale, New Jersey building?
That building looks amazing
so cool.
at night. It's an amazing building already, and to have that at night, it pops. It's so cool.
Definitely.
Yeah.
He's a character. He's good.
He's good.
Good
He's
people.
good people, yeah.
But I can see that. I can see him loving that.
It's something that I'm not shocked came from him because it's very unique.
Yeah, totally.
It's very unique.
That's cool. So now that just kind of so you went from doing this to adding this. Now along the way, I'm sure that it hasn't been all rainbows and butterflies and everything's been perfect, right?
No, definitely not perfect.
So what's some of the grit that you've experienced over the time, and what's some of the stuff that you had to fight? You had to fight through as being a business owner.
I had a partnership in the beginning, a couple of partnerships. One of them really was my real day-to-day partner, and I'm not saying partnerships are bad, but if you have the wrong partner, it could be bad. And things changed. It was a good partnership that went bad for different reasons. I won't get into it.
Yeah.
It's one real negative.
So you had a partner, and then you guys split up.
I kind of went my own way. He took the company. That's just the way it went. And then he just didn't do right by it, so I was able to come back in and start to rebuild. And
did you lose any customers
we
over
lost the majority of the customers. It wasn't a good situation. Some of them did come back, some of them moved on. When I came back, and I understood that. I wasn't expecting anybody to stand around waiting for anybody. You can keep things moving.
That's the hard part. People don't realize when you're in business, you're their guy until you're not their guy.
You hope you're their guy.
Yeah.
And then you find out that sometimes, even though when things are good, you're not their guy because somebody's, a little cheaper.
Yeah.
But they forget all that went on before that. But that's okay.
That's part of business.
It's just part of it.
Like.
Yeah.
I feel like if someone
How to
could
learn
beat you,
that.
you know, there are times like you get beat for a price and you're like, we really didn't do it for that. What about all that goodwill ahead of it? You know, all the times where someone got bailed out when they needed a little help or they needed this or that, and then you get beat for $25 and you're like, what just happened here?
Yeah, the bigger picture gets lost somehow, and it just focuses more on the dollars, and it's like, yeah, I understand. I'm not spending your money, but you got all of this for that money. Now you're getting half, and it's cheaper. You have to at least see that, you know, and you have to remember what we did for the last 5-10 years together.
It's funny. Somebody texted me the other day, and they're like, "Oh, you want me to give you my guy's number?" And I said, and I just wrote back, "No, thank you." I said, "I appreciate you reaching out to me, but no, thank you. I'm very happy where I am with this service." And they said, "Well, what about your business brain? It doesn't want to explore." I said, "There's something called loyalty." And I said, you know, in a world that we live in, I feel like it gets lost real fast. And the service that I'm using with the vendor that, you know, he's done right by me. He's done right by me for 8 years on this product. It's an insurance product. And I said, no, I'm not looking for someone. They said, well, what if the other guy could be cheaper? I'm not interested in even having that conversation, because could they probably cut their fee? They probably could. And they could make a less commission, but what about the 8 years leading into this?
I mean, that is a great story, and I hope people, you know, hear that and see some value in that, because I see a lot of value in that.
You shouldn't get robbed, but at the same time,
there's no place to tee off on somebody, but there's a happy medium. You're doing this long enough, you should know your spot of price, and you know, people who are your guy should say, okay, I don't know if that's right or wrong. I'm assuming I trust him. Trust is huge.
Yeah.
So it should start with trust. If you trust that person, then I think that person's probably where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other person's always going to come in and try to undercut it just to get it. You know.
There's always someone that can be cheaper. There's always someone that can cut it. Listen, Walmart has a place in this world, but at the same time, if you're looking, I like to be able to call somebody if I have a problem, especially in insurance. That if I have a problem, I can give you a call, I could send you a text. I'm not calling some 800 number, somebody I don't know, somebody that's going to say, hey, Tom, we're closed till Monday morning. Yeah. I want to be able to talk to someone and say, hey, this is my problem. And just like people call Wingman, they call me all the time. My phone always rings. Or you know, my texts are going off all day and night, because they know that I'm their wingman, I'm their guy.
Right. You're obtainable. You can get to you and get an answer. So there's tremendous value in that.
So I'm a firm believer of relationships matter, and I know that we're in a world of Amazon and cheapest and, you know, quickest, cheapest.
Right.
And again, I want to be your guy, but I at the same time, like, I think that we've lost that loyalty factor.
I agree. What was is definitely not what is in the business today. Yeah.
It's a different world, but you know, I don't think between the two of us we're going to fix that one. But as long as people understand that, maybe someone, you know, takes that away and goes, oh yeah, that is true. Yeah, you know, this person has done right by me. Let's not.
I think everybody could look at the people that they work with regularly and know who's who, and know the value of those people.
And surround yourself with good people that care about relationships, care about doing right and that align with the same values. Like, you know, again, you talk about Anthony. When I met Anthony, I met him through a networking group. I got invited by a podcast guest, invited me to their networking group in Red Bank. I met Anthony, and he said, I want to go over a couple things with you. I'll give you a call next week. Gave me a couple things, did a couple more things. We've done a couple more things. He's introduced me to a number of people, and you know, he continually does more things because he wants to better his business. He wants to be more on social. I mean, and I think I heard you talking to Andrew before. Like, you see him now on his videos more.
Before I walked in, I was looking for the cheese.
Shout out to the cheesesteak.
Yeah, I saw the cheese steak
Cheesesteaks,
company,
yeah.
and I knew it was in Belmont, and it just so happens it's in the same
plaza.
But when I looked on Instagram, that was the first thing that popped up, was one of your videos with Anthony just before I walked in.
That's funny.
And I've been seeing them a lot.
We've been shooting more videos for him, and he's great because he's just so you tell him let's do this, he says let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, he don't think he just
but
does it.
He just does it, but he also realizes that social is about that video content. It's about that being in front of the camera. Like the days of social where you just post a picture, especially in the line of work he needs to be different because every accountant's posting that same blog about, getting your 1099s in and, filing.
You have to stand out.
Like you have to
100%.
do something different in his world.
I try to, when we're on the jobs, I don't do it every time because you just get caught up and you're running from spot to spot, but I try to even take you through a little bit of our installations, make a funny comment or something and just try to keep it light, but show you what we're doing. It's not just here's the start, the end product.
Yeah.
How did you get there?
Sure.
So we try to show that a little bit. I don't want to bore people, Some of it's like it doesn't translate on video, but this is me doing it. It's not like you guys do it. You'd be able to show it right, but I try.
I feel like in your world, especially for the audio visual, like and these backyards and stuff, it's cool because again, somebody might be like, this is overwhelming, and like, I don't want to rip up the whole backyard, and like then you come in and show how easy it can be done.
It can be done retrofit. We do a lot of that work in the homes too. We pride ourselves. One of the things that we've actually really, I think, grown in the department of is running wires in finished homes without making holes. And that, we do a lot of work in Brooklyn in brownstones where making holes or popping moldings and things like that you would normally do to get wires around, then it's not an option because it's not anything to be replaced. Some of this is 50, 60-year-old stuff. You can't crack it. The paint can't be replaced. So
some of those older walls too are not sheetrock.
It's all plaster and
that's
lap.
hard.
Yeah, so we've learned all these like kind of tricks. It took years and we figured it out, but we've been in enough of the homes that we've gotten it now. And we know what can and can't be done, and we're pretty realistic. We take a lot of time to survey, which is another thing that people don't understand. Somebody could come in and just start making holes everywhere, and that's a lot faster. There's no time to survey that. There's no time. You just do.
But they're butchers.
Just go. When they leave, you have Swiss cheese to deal with and figure out the paint color and who's going to spackle and all these things. So where they think they saved money on this person because they were cheaper than we were, now they left this mess. So now who's going to deal with this and be home that next day for the person to come to spackle 3 times and paint and the dust? And so these are like certain things we try to like explain.
You have to educate them.
It's a lot of time to get past all of that sometimes before we can get into what we're really there for, or even after the fact. So we'll get through what you want, and then when we paint the picture of the proposal and the design, we also have to explain that aspect of it. And a lot of times people understand and appreciate it.
They get it.
And sometimes people don't.
Yeah.
And they just say, but he's still $100 less, And,
but sometimes that customer's not going to be the best customer for you.
Might not be our customer.
Like, there's some customers that, again, I talk to a lot of people, and, I'll even say, sometimes I'll say to my team, it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
Like, on that first consultation, some of the questions they ask, like, they're going to be a tough customer. And then you have to decide, like, is the risk worth the reward? Because there's a lot of times where there's not enough.
It's just going to take, I don't mind spending time with the client. That's my job. My job is to spend time, meet the client, understand what they want, listen, design, present. That's my job. But if you could do no right, you're spending so much more time trying to just do right where you do with everybody else somewhat easier.
Yeah.
And then if they're just not going to ever be happy and they don't see the value, and that's when you have to start to say, maybe we're not for each other.
Years ago, and he turned out to be a great client. I met this contractor in New York, one of my first clients ever. And I was working from home at the time. I didn't have an office. I was, just getting going. And his license, he pulls up in like one of those F-250s or whatever, and his license plate says "never satisfied." And I go, "Oh my God, what am I getting into?" And over the years, I'd say, no matter what I did, I would say, I'd say to him, "You're just never satisfied." Wow. But he's a great guy. He's
That's
a great
funny.
client.
Did he pick up on his
but
license plate
I
when you would say that to him, or
Yeah,
did he
like,
forgot he even had that?
I don't even know. Like, it just said, and it wasn't. It was
Yeah.
missing some letters. But I was like, that says never satisfied.
That's
like,
awesome.
And I was like, I can't believe this. I go.
That's the first thing you picked up on.
That's the
right?
first thing I picked up on. And again, I was so new in business, and I just wanted customers, and I wanted to be their wingman, and I wanted to help them, and I could see this vision that what
And I
15 years
respect
later
that.
is.
Being green in business, you don't even know what's to come.
I
with
knew
that
it was going to
person.
be tough.
But you already knew.
I knew it was going to be tough, but I also felt like at the time, like I looked at him when I first started. He had multiple trucks on the road. He's running a good business. He's a young guy. I was 30. He was probably 28, and I was like, this guy's got it. Like, he knows what's going on. Like, looking back, like, I'm like, man. But at the same time, I'm like, never satisfied.
Yeah, that's probably an uphill battle.
Yeah, when I was talking to Lorenzo Moriello, shout out to Lorenzo, I
up,
said to him,
Lorenzo?
you're going to learn things at 20, 21 that I was 30, 31. It's that much harder 10 years later to learn.
I'm
He's
excited for
such a
him.
young guy to be out there hustling. Like, he'll make those mistakes, but at 21, it doesn't hurt as much as at 31.
I'm not worried about him. I'm excited for him. I know he's going to do big
Great
things.
things.
Yeah, he's destined. Yeah.
He's got a great personality.
Smart guy.
Charming.
Yeah, I'm not worried about
Yeah.
him at all.
So I hope that he does.
I'm excited to see. I
Yeah.
want to see what's next. He's already done incredible things.
So then you decided to add a third unit to the business.
In between, like I'm out of order, but the AV company, and then we wound up with a garage and closet, custom garage and closet installation company for storage. So
now,
that was interesting how that happened.
how did that happen?
I had gone to meet a client for an audio video job.
Mm-hmm.
He was running late. I wound up standing in his garage with this company that was doing this organization system. They were putting up cabinets, and I'm just there, and the guy, he's like in the organization business, this guy, but he was like a mess. Like, there was stuff everywhere, and he really wasn't using like a great product, and I never saw this product before, and I said, what a great concept. And I started picking his brain, and I'm like, I could do this a little different. And I met with the client, went back to my office. I didn't even like put their proposal together. I started searching, and I found that Whirlpool owns a garage product called Gladiator, and
Okay.
it's quality. Saw them at a show or something and got on board with them, and went right back to the clients and said, now we have this garage product. This is what we can do. We completely come in, we take everything out, we outfit it in a design, we put your stuff away, we remove the garbage, so you pull in, done, floors, walls, cabinet. It's a beautiful, if you do it, it's amazing. And we started to do really well with it. We did so much in the beginning that our reps had called us and said, like, we don't even know where Staten Island is. What are you doing with all this stuff that you're buying? And I said, like, this is before Zooms, or we're on the speaker, and I said, well, I'll send you some pictures. And we blew up a bunch of pictures, and we sent them some of the installations that we did, and they were like very surprised. They thought it was more of, because you could have went to Sears and bought a one-off, but we were doing it, So they just weren't. That wasn't something that they were at that time.
We're into.
We're experiencing with other people.
Yep.
And then over time, people would say, "Well, you do closets too, right?" And no, we said no for like 5 years.
And then finally,
we just stopped. It's why say no? This is silly to say no.
You're given.
We had builders who were asking us. We had a designer who was asking us. We had, anytime we did a garage, because what does happen, I will say, is we do your garage. More than likely, one of our other services we're gonna come back. We always say we'll start with something, do our best to make you happy, and we're pretty confident that we'll be back to do something else for you.
I love it.
And then the closet started. So we found the fabricator. I went to Florida. They had like a closet organization, like, I don't know, show. I had no idea about this stuff. I found a fabricator.
Yep.
Came back, still with that fabricator. They're amazing. They're in Yonkers.
That's funny. You went to Florida to find somebody
you
in
imagine?
Yonkers.
Can you
Someone
imagine?
that's a couple boroughs away from you.
so silly, but there was no other way.
Yeah.
I had no tie to
No,
this.
of course.
And it just worked out, and thankfully, because we can go pick up and we can, because it's a lot. Sometimes, like, you know, if you're doing 15, 20 closets at somebody's house, you're talking hundreds of pieces of material.
Yep.
So it had to be local.
Yeah,
you know.
definitely.
So that all worked out, and that now is under our, you know, umbrella for, you know, I don't know how many years now, many years. You know.
So you've kind of just found the right niches.
We found these services that are custom.
Yep.
Which is what we were doing with the AV company, and then these other products just kind of somewhat found us a little bit, took them on, and people saw value. We started to, you know, obviously always getting better and finding all the little tricks of the trade and the things that are, you know, I mean, we have everything from in the closet business, from, you know, walk-ins, reach-ins. We do islands, glass inlaid doors. We have watch winders that we build in. You know, like people have these crazy watches they got to move every once in a while. Watch winders that we build into the design, safes. I mean, so like it just kept going. So the more we offer, the more it's like kind of a la carte. You pick what you need, and then
the beautiful thing is a lot of the things you're doing are not like things that have heavy competition.
Well, each category. Not so much the jellyfish, but the others have.
They have that.
Yeah, we've seen over the years
an increase
of who's out there doing the similar things, but you know, you hope that you do things a little different as far as safing off the house, cleaning up after you're done, treating it a certain
like
way, putting booties on, whatever the difference is.
You put booties on those big feet?
I do. I
had
to buy a certain.
What do you got? The 13 plus
that's
booties?
That's a 13. But yeah, we found booties that fit even me, so you don't have to worry. I won't be coming through your house.
There you go.
With my sneakers on.
So, and now for the young entrepreneur, you gave a kudos to Lorenzo Moriello a few minutes ago. For that young entrepreneur, that young guy who's thinking about this, what's your thoughts of getting into business these days?
I think you should definitely take your shots, and you're gonna hit some bumps, and you might not be on the right path the first direction you go in, but that's the time to make all the mistakes. And eventually you'll find something that you love. Hopefully it's the first shot, but if it takes 3 shots, you'll figure it out. And I mean, I never really worked for somebody since I was very young, so I can't really offer the differences. I don't really know, but when you work for yourself and it's good, you won't trade it for anything.
Yep.
You know,
and you're going to get some hard customers along the way. That's part of life.
Even if you work for somebody.
Even if you work for somebody,
you might have a hard boss that
boss
drives you crazy every day. So once in a while versus every day, maybe it's not a
You'll
bad
take
deal.
it.
Yeah,
You'll take those odds.
But I think, if you want to really work for yourself, I think young, take your chances. I would love to have that opportunity again, to be young, not have the
family responsibilities.
I mean, I have 2 little girls who I love and adore, my Emma, my Gracie. But you know, when that comes later, then you start to take much less risks, and
you have to. You have to do.
Jumping around.
You do right by for your family.
Yeah. So your options start to change, I think, a little bit. So that's what you have on your side. Do it.
Time. You have the time on your hands, and you go.
Yeah, take those shots.
I love it. Well, this was a great conversation. I really appreciate you coming on today.
Really.
I think you were a great guest. I love the story. I love how you just added pieces to the puzzle, and because you did the right thing, you were able to go back to those customers and say, hey, we offer this service now. And I think a lot of people have to think about what those add-ons are in their business to do the same kind of thing you do. People want a person that they can trust, that they like, that's fair, that's reasonable, and they rather that, especially in their homes. Like, again, in their businesses, again, it's not as important, but again, you don't want some loser in your home that you don't trust. You know, if you don't trust that person to be at your house with your kids and your wife, there's no, like,
that's the most important.
Like, that's important. Like, if I can't trust someone to go to my house, I know I'm not going to be home for that installation. If I can't trust them, like, I don't want to do business.
We have codes to garages, backyard gates, interior doors. I mean, we can't just walk in whenever we want, but if they know we're coming and they're not home, have at it.
But that's trust.
That's trust.
That's
that takes
trust.
a long time, but we have that.
Yep.
We have that with people. So I'm proud of that.
That's fantastic. So as we wrap up, let people know where they can find you if they're interested in learning more about your services.
Yeah, I think Instagram is probably our best.
Look at
place,
you,
right?
Instagram guy.
So is, Platinum Group Design.
Platinum Group Design.
That's probably the best place you can see some of our work in everything we talked about, and I try to put some stuff. I've been a little light with the summer, but I'm going to come back now.
Andrew, we're going to have to go to Staten Island one day and do some real videos for him.
I think that is true. I'm gonna need a little help. You'll see. I mean, you'll see.
Listen,
they're okay.
Andrew and I going on
better.
a field trip one afternoon. I feel like that's happening sooner than later.
I bet you after you had that chocolate bread. Now
we're gonna want to go.
Now.
There you go. Perfect. Keith, thanks for coming on today. Have a great rest of the year, and thanks again. This was a great chat.
Thank you. I appreciate it.